This is the New American Media.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles, to be specific. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Unhappy Hour. A special edition of Strictly Browns, also, where we're here to talk about the Cleveland Browns football. The Cleveland Football Browns, who had been looking very good in preseason, not so much yesterday. Everything kind of came back to reality for the Cleveland Browns yesterday. The Indianapolis Colts defeated the Cleveland Browns by a score of 27-6. Not a fantastic outing. Brandon Weeden really couldn't move the ball, couldn't do much, had a couple interceptions that were even dropped. So it showed no touchdowns, no interceptions, but it could have been. No TDs and 2 picks. Sean Gibson had a nice interception. One hand and then a bobble and then another bobble and then he grabbed it. It prevented more points from Andrew Luck and the Colts, who looked pretty solid. You know, this is one of those games where it kind of shows the difference between where the Browns are at and where the Colts are at. Takes a little bit out of the sails, but hey, we'll break it down a little bit. We're going to bring in special guest Brandon Odell, who usually joins us for Strictly Browns. Real quick, though, do us a favor, check out our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. Go on Twitter and follow us at American_media_. Also, I want to make sure that you are friends with us on Facebook. Search The New American Media. Put spaces in there. Like our page. Share our content. Comment. Join the conversation. And make sure you check out all of our archived shows and our interviews and different stuff as well on YouTube. YouTube.com/The New American Media. Subscribe. Share. Comment. You know the deal. So let's get Brandon in here and see what he has to say about this. Brandon, a season ticket holder, if you will. Well, you know. I was really excited after the first 2 games. Now kind of all crashed back to reality. So we'll see what B thinks about it.
Hello?
Hey, Brandon, you're live. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Just fulfilling some of the fatherly roles that come with the territory these days.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, the fatherly role of the Cleveland Browns, I don't know. I mean, we've been watching our little baby trying to grow up for how many years now since the expansion team came back. And there's still those baby growing pains, and we saw it in full display as the Colts whooped us 27-6 yesterday. They looked like an infant team yesterday. I mean, what are you taking away from the game?
Well, yeah, they took a step back, and they did not look very good yesterday. You're right. I guess the hope is that they get this game. I mean, there are going to be games like this throughout the course of the season. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, no one is expecting this team to go, 12-4. Well, you're expecting them to go undefeated.
Thank you. I was, and I do. Yes.
Anyway, I think that the main thing is that we want to see them improve, and we want to see them try to take positive steps. And you know what? Maybe if they have a little bit of a down game in the preseason, it's kind of a little bit of a wake-up call, and they're able to go in the right direction by opening day.
Mama said there'd be games like this, and that is a good point, because I was trying to find the silver lining to playing like garbage. But really, I mean, you have to look in the mirror, stop walking around puffing your chest out as much, don't think you're as important as you thought you were. And maybe it's back to the drawing board and hit reset. This is their first game away from Cleveland Browns Stadium. Or, I'm sorry, whatever the heck they're calling it these days. Yeah, First Energy, hooray. But yeah, I mean, okay, there is a silver lining. So now we're going to see how Chud responds to a week of adversity and how the team reacts. I mean, what are your takeaways specifically on offense and defense and special teams? Like, let's break it down that way. First with offense. I mean, why were all these drives stalling out? What was going on?
I'm sorry, Brian. I'm losing you. I heard you say something about the offense, and that's about it.
Yeah, I was just wondering why all the drives were stalling. What was going on? Why couldn't the offense get it together?
Well, I mean, I guess the simplest answer would be to say that the Colts defense was doing a good job of, I guess, calling our shots, so to speak. I think that we saw some better coverage. I mean, I'm just going by what I heard on the radio because I wasn't able to see the live broadcast. Actually, I could have seen the live broadcast, but didn't realize that it was on television here because we actually ended up getting we get Fort Wayne and Toledo television.
You got it from the
and
Colts,
we ended
then,
up
didn't
getting,
you?
We got it from the Colts perspective, and I didn't realize it was on TV until into the fourth quarter.
Oh,
so,
okay. See, I get out here in California, I get the live look-ins from NFL Network. They bounce around the league, and they'll show you a drive with Whedon, they'll show you a drive with Luck, and then you're back to you're watching the Steelers and the Chiefs, and then you're watching another team, and here and there, and then you try to break it all down after the fact. But I mean, I guess you're saying this wasn't as much of a step back for Whedon, maybe as much as it was a really good Colts defense.
That's true, and I mean, but you know what? Let's not debate the fact that this was a step back for Wheaton. Because he had an opportunity to try to kind of go blow for blow. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Andrew Luck is going to be and already has shown to be a successful NFL quarterback, but is going to be a very successful NFL quarterback, and he's well on his way to a very promising career. I think that, for the Browns to have had a chance against the Colts, especially in the regular season, it would have probably been one of those cases where they were going to have to outscore them because Andrew Luck was doing a pretty good job of moving the ball. So Brandon Whedon needed to be able to turn up the intensity in his own right and was not able to do that. And didn't find the receivers he was looking for, and conversely, the defense did a good job of shutting him down and not allowing him to make the throws that he wanted to make. So, it's growing pains all around, and like I said, maybe that's better that they get one of these come to Jesus kind of games now, and it puts them in a little bit better shape to really get this wake-up call for the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, this is the dress rehearsal game, and Brandon Whedon, who has been named the starter for the season, finally, they brought him out in the third quarter to try to get something together. I mean, they did get a field goal out of it, but I mean, it just, I don't know. It is one of those steps back, and hopefully they're going to be able to turn it around. I mean, on defense, Barkevius Mingo, he still wasn't playing. Jabal Sheard sat it out. Do you have any takeaways from the defensive squad that allowed all those points?
I mean, defensively, really there were a few standouts. I mean, for the most part, Andrew Luck was able to make plays. They were bringing a lot of intensity on him, and Andrew Luck was dealing with that intensity and actually stepped up in the pocket and either tucked the ball and ran a few different times, or made the throws that he needed to make. And so hats off to him. But the defense, I mean, besides a few nice breakups by Buster Screen, which was good to see. Really, I mean, look at Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne had something like 79 yards or something like that just in the half of football that he played. So, the defense just wasn't there. So, just like with the offense, I think the defense, like you said, has to look in the mirror and kind of figure out what this means. And you try not to put too much stock into these preseason games, and at the same time too, you always want to perform well. And when you don't, you try to look at why you didn't perform well. And this will be an opportunity for the coaches to look back at the tape and maybe be able to point out some of the things that we need to work on in practice between now and Thursday first of all when we play the Bears, but then September 8th versus Miami.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, are you expecting to see anything in the next week? Any roster moves that maybe come as a surprise to anybody? Do you think there's anyone that we might be targeting, or any position we might target on the waiver wire as other teams are dropping their players as we get ready for that Bears game on Thursday?
I think it really boils down to what ends up becoming available. There are always some veterans that end up getting cut from different teams for salary cap reasons when you have a young guy that comes in and is performing as well or better. So there is definitely a possibility of some good players being available, possibly at that right guard spot. Obviously, with that voided trade for John Moffitt, there's still a right guard spot that certainly is at least a temporary opening. But I think we'll just have to wait and see. We'll see what's available. We'll see if it's anything that works for the team. I think for the most part, the team is going to be pretty set. I think what you see right now is pretty much what you're going to get on opening day. But, there might be someone that comes available. I think it's really hard to tell until you see what happens because, Joe Banner has always talked about getting guys that aren't stopgap players. And so I think that's the main reason why they ended up voiding the trade with Seattle for John Moffitt is the fact that if he was going to have injury issues, if we could only get him for a couple of games and then boom, he's going to be out again, that doesn't do us any good because we need a guy who we can really count on there. So, we'll just see what happens.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Maybe we can chat again on Friday after a Bears game. Maybe the Browns can show us a little bit more. I know this was the big one. If you got to pick one game out of the 4 preseason, you say Game 3 is it. This is the dress rehearsal. And that's disappointing because we looked good in games 1 and 2, not so much in 3. But maybe we can get together and talk a little bit more about it on Friday after hopefully the Browns look a little bit better and come out injury-free after playing the Bears, Brandon. So, hey, thanks for joining us again today. Have a great Sunday for this special edition. Thanks for joining us, and maybe we'll talk again this week, okay?
Let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Do you know when is the first round of cuts? Do you know?
A lot of teams have been making their cuts already. I've been seeing a lot of different teams that are going through and switching, and making their first round of cuts. When is it for the Browns? I mean, you'd have to think that it would be after this game. I don't know exactly. I'm looking around here. I'm not seeing exactly when. Sorry, I'm doing a quick search. I'm not finding it, but it's got to be soon. One way
or the other, that'll be something else for us to look out for, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. That backup running back position, Montario Hardesty was on the chopping block, but now it's so thin, you figure he's going to stick around. Sure. But by Thursday or Friday after the game, we should have an opportunity to talk about our trimmed down roster. Do you think Tebow makes it with the Patriots? Because that's like one of the stories that's easy to follow. They didn't even play him at all in the last game.
Yeah, and that's not good.
I know.
I think if there's any sort of trade value for him, I think they would be open to that. But it doesn't look like Bill Belichick really has time to mess around with him a whole lot. I think they brought him in for a look, and apparently Belichick didn't like what he saw. And Belichick, you like to believe that the guy knows what he's doing a little bit. So if he doesn't like it, then I guess there's a lot of people that would.
Hey, and really quick, as we go into overtime, the Cleveland Indians are sitting about 3 games back of the wild card. They've had really hot stretches, I think 2 really hot stretches during the season and 2 really bad slumps, kind of evening out. But, at least at the end of August, they're still fighting, they're still battling, only a couple games away. What do you think moving forward? Do you think they have a chance to grab one of those wild card spots? I don't think that they're going to catch the Tigers. They kind of blew that by getting swept a few weeks back. But how you feeling about the Indians these days?
They have a chance, obviously. They're 2.5 out from Oakland right now. They were tied in the game versus Minnesota last I heard. It was like the 5th inning. Actually, Oakland was losing to Baltimore. So if the Tribe wins today, they can actually be only 1.5 games back, provided that Oakland loses. So it's definitely there and it's available. Baltimore is definitely going to be a team that's going to have something to say about things. And then certainly if Kansas City can get hot again, they might have a little something to say about things. And I guess there's probably one more. You'd have to say that, depending on how it works out between Texas and Oakland, it was a good thing that we were able to get Texas when we did.
Yeah,
Texas starting to get hot.
Yeah, we put a hurting on Texas when they came in, and then the Yankees are still sitting there. They're just lingering right behind us. I mean, it's going to be fun. I really like the expanded wild card stuff. I remember when people said wild card in baseball playoffs, oh, it's a bad idea, it's horrible for the sport. No, it's not. You have excitement in 8 other cities where there wouldn't be any excitement this time of year, because it's going to be hard to catch the Tigers. But we have a legitimate shot for that, to catch one of those wild card spots. And, hopefully with new management, with Terry Francona, that they're not going to choke like they have so many years in the past with Manny Acta. And on top of that, Brandon, Urban Meyer, he's leading the number 2 ranked Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are getting ready to start playing, and man, I just love this time of year and talking football with you and baseball and all that jazz. So I think we're going to have plenty to talk about in the weeks to come, buddy.
Well, Ohio State opens up their schedule against the mighty University of Buffalo next week, so it'll be a little bit of a snoozer. I really long for the days when the Buckeyes had some of those really nice early season matchups. I think they have one scheduled, maybe starting next year with Oklahoma, perhaps. But with the new formats, with the 4-team playoff, I think that there is going to be a much more of a trend of teams trying to strengthen their schedules a little bit and padding their schedules with really weak teams or IAA teams isn't going to happen nearly as much. I mean, the last year and this year, the Buckeyes' schedule just has not really hasn't really had a whole lot of flair, and it's missing that, especially early in the season. So the Buckeyes should be undefeated and convincingly so going into Big Ten play, and I think that really. I don't think anyone is going to beat the Buckeyes based upon projections right now, except the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes until you get to the national title game. But the Buckeyes, if they lose any games this season between now and that inevitable face-off with an SEC team, it's going to be on them. It's not going to be that they were facing a better football team. So, we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to Urban Meyer's second season. He always turns it around. You and I both went to Bowling Green State University when Urban Meyer was the coach over there, and we saw what happened. I mean, we cracked the top 25 and had a really strong team, and it was fun football as a Bowling Green Falcon fan for the first time since I could remember. And, really looking forward to see what the Buckeyes can put together. Well, hey, man, go Indians, go Buckeyes, and, of course, go Browns, and maybe we can talk again on Friday and kind of break down the Bears game. Sound like a plan?
We'll see. I'm not sure if we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. So either way, go Browns, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Take care. Brandon Odell, everyone. I love this time of year. I'm telling you, it is the best. It is the best time of year. I just love as the baseball playoffs are heating up. Absolutely love it. Indians and Twins tied in the top of the 7th, 1-1. Looking across the league, seeing what's going on. Yankees are on top of Tampa Bay. That helps. Baltimore's beating Oakland. That helps. See, this is why it's fun to play fantasy football, because you get a chance. You really start caring about every team in the league and who's playing who and what defense and what quarterback's throwing to what wide receiver. Same in baseball this time of year. You start looking across the league. Oh, the Yankees, look at that. Hey, they're up by 1 on Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is ahead of the Indians, so I want the Yankees to win. And then, and it goes like that. And that makes rooting fun. That makes the sport fun. It's like that title chase in college football. You're watching that top 10 because you want to make sure that people behind you and those that are ahead of you, you want to see them lose. You want to see them go down so your favorite team can climb up the ranks. This is just great. As NFL football is starting, as college football is starting, starting. In the Major League Baseball playoffs. We're getting ready to rock and roll. Love it. Yeah, Browns definitely had a setback yesterday, but hey, real games don't start for another 2 weeks. And when they do, oh man, am I getting excited. So hey, check it out. By the way, if you have a fantasy football team that you're putting together and you haven't drafted yet, check it out. We just did a fantasy football draft special yesterday. You definitely should check that one out. It's on the archives, thenewamericanmedia.com, under the sports section. I think it's our headline story for now. Go on youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter at American_media_ and like our Facebook page. Search The New American Media with spaces and like the page. Check out all the content that we have. So, my name's Brian Engelman. I'm going to be signing off for now. But I love that you found us. You know, we're here for Cavs fans, Indians fans, Browns fans, and Buckeyes fans. You know, we'll talk about the national stories, but this is why we're here. We're homers. This is who we root for. Tell your friends. Connect them to us. Share the content. Like, hey, man, you got to check this out. Do it. Do it now. You know, you know the normal voices you're going to get when you scroll around Cleveland AM radio, but here's another one. A little something different. Check it out. Thank you very much. Signing off for Strictly Browns here on the Unhappy Hour. This is Brian Engelman on the TNAM radio network at thenewamericanmedia.com. Peace out.
Agree to Disagree. Yeah, it's a radio show we have on thenewamericanmedia.com every single Friday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Join the show. What do we talk about? Politics, religion, and spirituality. Basically anything you're not supposed to talk about in a bar. You're not supposed to have these conversations inside of a bar, but we have them every single Friday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific on thenewamericanmedia.com. Join the show, offer your opinion, and let's agree to disagree, but let's have a good conversation.